Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you on here, and I hope you guys can try these mandalas and have a fun time doing it. So before we get started on the mandala design, I'm going to explain our tools. So the tools I use are color-coded, so they have a color on the top of the tools. When you buy them off of Temu or Amazon, they usually just come clear. So first off, for the twirly tools, I do not use the green twirly for any of my tutorials, so you can set this one aside. As for the rods, the largest two rods, I, again, also do not use for any of my tutorials, but if you're doing like a bigger project on your own time, then of course you can use these. So now to help you understand what I have color-coded, you can lay them out biggest to smallest. The biggest one, which is the green one, next size down, we have it marked as the blue stick. And then next size down after the blue is the white stick. After the white stick, it's the yellow stick. And then we have the pink stick. And then last but not least, trying to pick them up, is the black stick. And then of course we have the twirlies. These are self-explanatory. They are color-coded already. You can color code them yourself. We use just nail polish on the tops of the tools. We can get started with the design now. So for today's class, we're going to be using these three colors. For paint color number 1, we're using Craft Smart White. Paint color number 2 is Deco Art Americana Tuscan Red. And paint color number 3 is Craft Smart Bright Pink. We're just going to practice a couple things that we're going to use on our gnome. And the first thing we're going to practice is making a heart. So we're going to be making two different types of hearts. One that's bigger like this, and then also smaller hearts that are going to go around the body of the gnome. So for the bigger heart, we're going to take the pink stick and the pink stylus. We're going to take the pink stick and dip it into the paint and place 2 dots right next to each other, almost touching. Then you're going to take the pink stylus tool, smaller or bigger end, it doesn't really matter. And you're going to take the paint from that dot and kind of draw out the heart, almost like 2 commas facing each other. Then you'll kind of connect at the top here and then spread the rest of the paint around the heart to fill it in. So now we're going to move on to the smaller hearts, which are made just slightly different. We're going to use the white stylus, bigger end. You're going to dip into the paint, and all it is 2 little drags towards each other like this. And again, you can always adjust the size by taking a smaller or bigger tool. So next, we're going to practice drawing these little squigglies for the beard that we're going to use. We're going to use the white stylus, smaller end. And you're just going to make random little squiggles and lines, make S's and W's, basically just little squiggles, however you want. The point of this exercise is try to get them to fit almost like a puzzle piece. So after you make at least 2 or 3, you want to start looking for little nooks and crannies that you can start another shape so that you can fill it in almost like a puzzle. Okay, and the last thing we're going to practice is just making these dotted lines almost. So all it is we're using the stylus tool. We're going to use the smaller end. And unlike making dots for just single dots, this we don't want to re-dip. So you'll dip once and you're just going to dot without re-dipping, and that makes each dot slightly smaller, where you get it smaller, and then you can start a little further and meet your way back to where it was small to make it kind of continuous, making it go small, big, and make a dotted line like that. The smaller end.
Is there a trick to getting more paint on this? You're getting a lot more than I am.
Yeah, just like look how much my tool is covered in paint. So I'm dipping a lot of paint. So don't be scared to get a good amount of paint on there, especially for these dots, so that they last you a while. So you're not just placing 3 and then your paint runs out.
Okay, that definitely helps.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get started on our gnomes. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna color in the arms and sleeves of the gnome. We're gonna use the white stylus, the bigger end. And we're gonna do pink for the gloves, white for the little cuffs, and red for the actual sleeves. So you're just dipping into the paint and coloring in, basically outlining it around. And then just color it in.
Oh, it's right back here. Sorry.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the beard of the gnome. The first thing we're going to do is the big heart that's a little off to the side. So using the white paint, using the white stick and the pink stylus, just like we practiced, you're going to place 2 dots next to each other with the white stick, and then with the pink stylus, you're going to draw out the heart. And then once you've got that heart drawn in, you can start on doing the squigglies all around the beard. Also, don't forget to do this little section in the back, his little hair in the back, also fill it up with squigglies.
With the white?
With the pink stylus bigger end. And then if you feel like there's a little bit of room in between your squigglies that you could fill up, you can always go in with the pink stylus and just add little dots in between the squigglies, just to kind of fill up little gaps that you couldn't get with the squigglies.
Did you say the big or the little end of this?
The little end. Okay, next up, we're going to move on to the body of the gnome. We're going to use all the colors, white, red, and pink, and we're going to use the white stylus bigger end. And doing the small hearts like we practiced, what's the word I'm looking for? Just switching colors, alternating colors. There we go, there it is. Alternating colors, just filling up the whole body with hearts. And then kind of like how I did here, you can go back and add little dots in between if you feel the need to fill it up a little more.
Oh, yeah, I know, like, whatever. I know.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the hat of the gnome. The first thing we're going to paint are the large hearts. So you can paint the hearts either with the red or the pink paint. I'm gonna do the pink on this second gnome just because I feel like the red is a little bit harder to see because it's a little darker, but you can do the red or the pink, it doesn't really matter. And we're only placing a few because we want to make sure we leave enough room for these dotted lines. So maybe about 6, 4, 5, maybe like 7 or 8 big hearts. Just scatter them around the hat of the gnome. We're using the white stylus and the white stick and the pink stylus. So nice big hearts.
Does it matter what color the large hearts are?
No. Once you've got those big hearts in place, you can start with the dotted lines. You can use multiple tools so that you're not having to constantly switch colors. It's the smaller end of the white and blue stylus, but the bigger end of the pink. So these are all the same size. And once again, just alternating colors, kind of like we practiced. You'll dip once and dot until your dots are super small, and then to kind of make it continuous. So you'll go up until it's small, then you'll skip some, you'll start, and then you'll meet back down to where it was small so that it doesn't go, so it's flush like this. It goes big, small, not, hold on.
Say that again, that message on top is over.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you want to make sure it's like a flush line. You want to do this so that it meets in the middle. You don't want it to do this.
Oh,
Okay? And the dotted lines don't have to be straight. For me personally, it actually looks prettier when they're a little squiggly. So when you go around the hearts, don't worry about it, going straight up. You can weave around the hearts doing those dotted lines.
So try small blue, small white, big pink.
Yes, yes. Also, another thing to keep in mind, when you start a new row of colors next to it, don't do a big dot right next to where the big is. So I went like this, but I don't want to start again right where I started here. So I'm going to start from the opposite side where the dots are small. So you're not doing big next to big when you're starting new rows from across. Yes, alternating, yeah. guys go ahead and take your time to finish, but that is the last step. So once you guys are done with the hat, you are all done with your Valentine's gnome.
Much for Jesus.